So some of the, or tell us some awesome thing that you have done despite diabetes.
I guess the twin pregnancy. I didn't think I could have one baby at all. I guess I didn't have enough faith in that department. But, I remember when I was told or when I found out I was pregnant, I was absolutely shocked. And I was pretty pessimistic, thinking, oh, this may not go well. And then I learned I'm having twins. So you can imagine my disbelief. And you might have thought that I would be even more, worried. But actually, because I was finding out that I had twins, I thought, this is like a great vow of confidence. This means I can do it, because what I've heard from doctors is that to even get pregnant with twins in the first place, you have to be relatively healthy. Mm-hmm. And so I was already going a few months with, growing two new people, and I thought that means I can do it. And I just went with that thought, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And that to me was the most awesome thing I've ever done. Because twin pregnancy is a high-risk pregnancy, even in a non-diabetic.
Mm-hmm. That's very good. That's very good. And congrats on that. So there is a research that I read a few days back in a journal that about 55% of adult diabetics miss their A1C or their endos visit or some kind of eye examination or foot examination. So I read your post that you have been slacking off or procrastinating your doctor's visit for the past 6 years without seeing an endo. So the first question is, why did you do that? The second question is, what's your advice to people who are slacking off?
Okay. Well, it is crazy that for 6 years I didn't see an endocrinologist. I went through a twin pregnancy without ever seeing an endocrinologist, which people say is crazy, but did it. And I did it because of fear. I was, it doesn't help, because even if you don't go, you're still afraid. But you're afraid to go, so you don't. And
so do you think people are still living in denial?
It could be denial, I think, for some people. For me, I had so many negative experiences with doctors where I finally had, I'd finally gotten myself to a good level of management on my own, not with a doctor. I did all my insulin adjustments on my own, and that is when I found out how my body worked with insulin and exercise and everything. So I did it the hard route, which I would not recommend, but as a result, I was afraid to go back to a doctor who might want to micromanage my diabetes, where I was already doing well on my own. And really one day I just said, okay, enough is enough. I have to go. I made an appointment. I told my husband, don't let me cancel, because I was tempted to cancel. And I think there were several occasions when I said, oh, I don't want to spend the extra, $30, $40 on the visit or whatever. And he said, no, you're going to go. And so having support from family and, friends that tell you no matter what, you're going to be okay. Because I think that part of what's scary is when you go, you're going to get your blood test, and you don't necessarily know what's going to happen on those tests, Mm-hmm. So just knowing that ignoring the problem is really more scary than facing it. Mm-hmm. And then forgive yourself for all the years or the months that you haven't seen a doctor. It's okay, just move forward and see a doctor.
So the other thing is, you're involved in all this diabetes advocacy, either in, in sharing your thoughts in online community, or writing some blog posts, or writing some kind of, I know you're writing some book also. So what's your experience in this whole diabetic advocacy thing?
Well, I think it's really interesting. I would recommend anyone with diabetes to get involved in some way. You can be the type who reads blog posts or sees YouTube videos, or you can be the type that comments and, is on the Twitter chats, and you can be the one who starts a blog and shares your own experiences or your whatever. But and yet I used to think that it was sort of, well, I would think that it was like, okay, I'm just telling people about my life with diabetes and my thoughts about it. But over the past year that I have read so many blogs and websites surrounding diabetes, I've realized that I have learned things that a doctor, doesn't maybe have time to tell me or doesn't know. My mind has just been opened up to this world of all these different people with different, lifestyle habits, different routines, and it has been altogether inspiring and such a great teacher to, because I'm just one person, it's one brain here. I'm missing a lot, and I don't think of a lot, and I don't catch of a lot. And when you put all these brains together, you get so much more information, and information is power. So I think for anyone with diabetes to somehow connect to the diabetes online community is just very valuable.
So this is a question I keep asking everyone. Some of the things that you learned hard way in these 17 years.
I thought that I could do it all by myself. Some people ask me, how is it that you had such high blood sugars during your, your youth? They said, what about your parents? Weren't they managing your blood sugars? Well, the problem was that back then with strips, you could trick them. You could add less blood, or you could mix with water and get a different number on the glucose meter. I did that to show my parents, look, I'm 102. When really I was 300. And I did that to them for years. And I can't even explain why, but it's like I try to be independent. And, an 11-year-old can feel very independent. But the reality is that they're still young and they cannot make decisions appropriately when it comes to something as serious as type 1 diabetes. And so I kind of wish I could go back and go ahead and be honest with my parents and let them help me. But okay, so basically I tried to do it all by myself, and I was stubborn, I thought, no, I don't have to test all the time, or I don't know. I learned the hard way with just about everything. Things that I read in books now, I learned the hard way, and it's really a miracle that I'm alive, because I did so many things that I would never recommend anyone do. And I went a year, in 2000, without testing my blood sugar, maybe 50 times the whole year. And I did learn the hard way, but at the same time, I'm lucky to be alive. So those things are in the past, and now I move on with the information I have today.
So your final message to the diabetic community out there?
Try not to lose hope. Try to stay positive. Literally, the more positive thoughts you have, the better you are more empowered by your own body and your brain to make the right decisions, which as a result will impact your health. And then that will allow you to do whatever else you want to do and get whatever you want to get. So really I would leave with that. Your attitude is as important as they say it is.
Thank you, Sissy, so much for being on the show and sharing your thoughts and experiences from the past 17 years. And you and your sister have a nice, healthy life.
Thank you very much. You too, Vijay.
Thank you, Sissy.
Bye.
And hey guys, everyone listening to the show, please go through today's diabetes recipe, diabetes tip, and diabetes exercise. And you guys have a nice day. And please do leave your comments to make this better.